had this book on my reading tablet for fucking ever. It's called You Were Born Rich. Well, Bob Proctor wrote You Were Born Rich years ago. So Bob Proctor is talking about the concept of the law of gender and the law of gestation. And I was like, okay, now I know gender because of the Kybalion talks about the Hermetic principle of gender. But the principle of gestation, this is a relatively new concept to me. So I'm reading about it, and now I'm researching the shit out of it. That's what Wednesday's episode is going to be about. I'm going to talk about this a lot. But it contradicts what he's talking about is in his book contradicts what Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, which is funny because he's like a big student of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, right? He read Think and Grow Rich for the last 60 years or something like that before he died. But Napoleon Hill in his book says when you have a goal in mind, right, for the law of attraction, when you have a goal in mind, you have to set a specific date, right? And you have to set that so that you know exactly when it's going to come to fruition, that sort of thing. And then Jack Canfield, who was in the movie The Secret also, along with Bob Proctor, but he wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. He also talks about it in one of his books. He talks about how you've got to set a specific date because he says vague goals get vague results. Right? So he's like, you got to have a specific date when you will complete this task. Well, in the Last Law of Attraction book, he says don't do that because you're setting yourself up for failure, right? Because if it doesn't happen by that date, now you're going to have all this doubt in your head, right? Well, Bob Proctor clears all this shit up. He clears it all up. And he says not to set a date. He says not to set a date because everything happens by law, right? So he says the law of gestation will determine when this will come to fruition. And the law of gestation is a sub-principle under the law of gender, which is one of the 7 Hermetic principles. And he says the way it works is with gender in your mind, your conscious mind is the masculine, your subconscious mind is the feminine. Your conscious mind is going to impregnate your subconscious mind with the seed of an idea, right? The idea of a goal. The gestation period to complete that task isn't up to you. It's up to the universe. So you can't give a specific date to it because it will happen in time, in due course, right? Like the human gestation period is 9 months. You can't say, I want a baby in 3 months because that baby won't be fully formed yet. So you have to trust the gestation period of whatever idea it is that you have to come to fruition in natural time according to the universe's gestation period for that idea. So it's like, that blows my mind. That blows my mind. All of this stuff makes so much more sense when you apply it to universal law. You know, it's like it will happen according to law. It's not fucking magic. It's not fucking woo-woo. There's universal laws that govern the fucking universe, and as long as you operate within the law, things are going to happen for you. It's just blowing my mind.